HBCUs are receiving tremendous love and collaboration from some of entertainment's brightest stars, from Beyonce's Be Good touring HBCUs to promote scholarship opportunities for her Renaissance tour, to Chris Paul holding basketball tournaments, shining lights on HBCU athletes.
Yeah, man. Black Star Power is putting their influence behind the Black institutions. Joining us now to discuss how he's giving back to HBCUs is mega producer and songwriter Dallas Austin. It is an absolute pleasure. You know, listen, your hits are the soundtrack of my life, brother.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We first want to start by congratulating you on the recent win with TSU. Congrats on that. We were following that nomination closely. That is amazing, historic, precedent, all that good stuff. Tell us a little bit about how that project, how that collaboration came to be.
It was interesting because Sir the Baptist came to me and he said, "Hey man, would you like to accept a doctorate from TSU?" And I said, "A doctorate? Yeah, I'd love to get a doctorate from TSU, you know."
Right.
And along with that process, we decided, well, why don't we do something, instead of just receiving a doctorate, why don't we do something to give back? Like, why don't we make an album for the school, combine it with, you know, the first time the marching band has had kind of mixed with a gospel choir, you know, with a gospel album with gospel influences. Let's make it for them the first time that that's ever been done. And then while we're making the album, I decided to make a documentary out of it also. So it was our ways of basically giving back to the school. And when we made the record, we didn't know we were going to get a Grammy for it. We wanted it to win a Grammy. We had every intention of saying, hey, this is something that we want to submit and something that would be important for the legacy of the school. And more importantly, I think, you know, when you shine light on something like that, when you make a record that gets a Grammy with the school, and once they see the documentary, it really sums up everything also. And I think it's going to be, you know, kind of do what Drumline did for the fake school at Atlanta A&T, because it wasn't a real school, but everybody wanted to go there because they saw this movie and they saw the records and stuff. So like, it's just really, you know, it came full circle. So I'm really excited for the school more than anything.
Yeah, it's an amazing project. Again, congrats on that.
It is. It is. So Dallas, last year you just alluded to this. You received an honorary degree from TSU. Tell us a little bit about that experience. What did that mean for you, getting an honorary degree from, of all institutions, TSU?
It was amazing, man, because, you know, for one, I didn't graduate from high school, and my mom always, you know, she wanted that moment in life. I also determined to be a record producer and a songwriter. That I was, you know, I was in the studios by the time I was 16. And so it kind of went full circle because my mom, my brother, for them to see me actually get a cap and gown and walk down the aisle and, you know, stand on the stage and actually get the doctorate. It was kind of surreal, you know, especially coming from you know, a lot of my friends, a few of them got doctorates, you know, but like coming from the source of the marching band was really important to me because of Drumline, and because it's been the 20th anniversary of Drumline this year also. So it kind of, you know, I like that feeling of giving back to something I think is going to make, you know, have impact on people. And I knew that this would have a big impact on it the way that this had an impact on me.
Sure. You've had these amazing experiences, the honorary degree, the Grammy. Talk a little bit about how HBCUs have become important to you, especially as you experience these full circle moments.
I mean, I'm glad I think it's fair to say that Drumline was one of the first movies to give HBCUs their light from a marching band standpoint.
Yeah.
And I know we had like Spike Lee did the movies before that, like, you know, Do the Right Thing and movies like that. But, you know, I think that Drumline really made another light shine on it because it was something an angle that they haven't seen before. And it made it where, you know, it kind of heightened that for the marching bands. But then I think now that, you know, after that, and Beyonce using the bands and other people starting to incorporate bands more, and, you know, even from Outkast to everyone else is kind of using them with some capacity. And I think that part of the school, you know, was always looked at as not being the coolest part, you know. And then with HBCUs also, you know, they struggle with funding everything else just like other people do. So, I mean, other schools do. So I feel like these last couple of years, you had a lot of support from artists trying to help support that school and support, you know, what the legacy of those schools mean. And, you know, it's important. It's always been important because those are the first places we were able to have those types of educations at.
That's right.
And you know, and to this day, it's, you know, it brings out more geniuses than any other places. So, it's really important for all of us to rally around it. I hope this shines a light on TSU that really helps elevate the school and the just the knowledge of what the school is about.
So Dallas, speaking of classic movies, you've referenced Drumline, you've referenced Do the Right Thing. You might have a classic on your hands, as we understand it. You currently have a documentary entitled Road to Ambition. Tell us about the inspiration behind it.
Yeah, it was basically, I felt like not only, recording to showing people what it took to make the record, but also giving them inspirational points, like things I've been through in my life and things that, lessons I learned in my life. And, what's cool about it is when we started the documentary, we started it at the same time, like a year ago, and we're finishing it now because we want to see what the outcome was going to be. So it's amazing to have the outcome of the Grammy being a part of it. That was just magic and God that fell in play, and so I think when it's very inspirational and it's very, I think we've seen other kind of marching band documentaries before about just the band, but this is about the ambition it took to get to this Grammy and the ambition it took for us to make it and for other people to make it and what it takes for you to really succeed in life. And so it's more than just a marching band documentary. It's full of jewels and stuff that I think that when they watch it, it'll stick with people the way it stuck with some of the students when we were making it. Just seeing their reactions and then some of the knowledge we were giving to them at the time, and they were just like, "Oh man, we didn't know that, or we didn't know that worked this way, or we didn't know that this is what it took." So it's always good to put that hope in them and show them that if you can see it, you can be it. And that's what the Road to Ambition is really about: is making sure you keep up with what it takes to succeed in whatever your dreams are.
Yeah, indeed. And what like a fairy tale moment, just a fairy tale moment in regards to how you would want that documentary to end. It doesn't get any better than that. So before we let you go,
it doesn't get any better.
I know, right? I can't wait to check it out. So before we let you go, hip hop turns 50 this year. Touche, first generation hip hop here. Talk to us a little bit about what hip hop means to you. I'm sure it has been everything to you as it has been to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the start of my career where, you had the Bomb Squad and Hank Shockley, and you had hip-hop more prominent, and it was more prominent coming from a New York standpoint, and us putting it in R&B. And so we get to records like the TLC records and the ABC records, and the JT Moneys and all the records that we've done. We wouldn't have the same thing without the influence of hip hop. It's meant so much to our culture. I was telling somebody yesterday that, where would you think that most of the rappers would be if rap didn't exist? Right? Because at one point, I remember the times when it didn't exist. I remember when, first came in and people, even in our era, it was still even about, it wasn't brag rapping. It wasn't enough people wasn't making enough money of it to call it a career. You couldn't really call it a career. And so I asked, I said, what do you think that all these guys who probably didn't have the right education, or probably was in the streets, probably was doing, where would they be if it wasn't for hip hop music? My answer was probably mostly in jail or dead.
Yeah, it saved lives for sure.
It saved lives.
Yes,
there was no outlet that could make it where you could tell your story and then make a career out of it and then start to change other people's lives out of it, whether it's your staff or your employees or your families. And we've seen this happen now for a long time, that the impact that hip hop has made on everybody, from Puff to everybody else. So I think it's monumental in our culture because it carved out a whole new level of income and a career that nobody ever thought that we could be successful at.
And Dallas, it gave us a voice. It gave a generation a whole new, different kind of voice.
A global voice.
It
did. A global voice.
It gave a big voice. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, our thanks to Dallas Austin, mega producer and just all in all great guy.
Yeah.
Please come on back to Fox Soul's Black Report anytime.
Yeah, you're an official soulmate now. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
Still ahead on Fox Soul's Black Report.
Yeah, the latest in the Michael K. Williams death case and more. Stay close, soulmates. You are watching Fox Soul's Black Report.